How's it going, everyone? I just thought I'd make a quick video on how to change the drive belt on a Genuine Roughhouse R50. I'm getting up there with mileage, which is the reason I'm replacing it. Just hit 4,000 miles, pretty good. And they recommend changing, I think, at like 3,700. So here's the new belt. I got that on Amazon. I think it's around like 50 bucks, but it's still running great. I feel like I've lost a little top end speed. The belt will narrow like this in the thickness here. So I'm gonna start taking these bolts off, and then we'll get the belt off. All right, I'm gonna start zipping these off. I got an 8mm in here for all these bolts. That's just some water. I hit some rain on the way home from work. All right, I got all 10 bolts removed. I'm just gonna take this kickstarter here. There's that 10th bolt right there. I'm gonna just kind of push this down. There we go. It's coming apart. There we go. See, the gap's happening. I might need 2 hands to pull this out. Oh, there we go. All right, I got the cover off. It's gonna be hanging on by that breathe hose. And then that's your Kickstarter. It gets a little hung up on there. And then you got this holding onto, I believe this is your brake cable. So just keep in mind, you gotta get that out of the way. But it looks all right. I see some debris on there. Belt looks generally okay, but I'm sure it's worn. I can use a micrometer to check it. But the paper filter ripped quite a bit, but I'm not too worried. I'm just gonna slap it right back on how it was. It's really just keep some water out when it's pouring, but I typically don't ride it in the rain unless I get caught in it. So let's get these nuts off. I think, let me check the size on that. All right, got a 14mm socket here. Okay, it's off. Now I'm gonna pay attention to how this all comes apart. I got the nut there. Then I got that washer there, which is notched and keyed specifically for the Kickstarter. Let's see, like that. Okay, and then I have this plate here. We'll keep that straight up with that sign there. Pull it straight out. There's the belt. All right, so I can take that off, but I just gotta get this nut off next. Okay. Got that washer. It's here. Now I can pull this off. Looks like it's like clutch material there. Pull this. Okay, here's the little belt. Here, let's pop it off this end. Oh. Let's keep that in there. So it's very tight, so I would get this in though first. Okay, like that. Push that back in where it belongs. Let's try to pull this off as one piece here. Here we go. All right. Oh, paper filter's stuck on there. I'm gonna have to cut that, but that's pretty much it. Let's get the new belt on. All right, new belt is in, generally. What I ended up doing is, of course, you saw me take that out. I squeezed this ring right here to this piece of metal right here with my hands like that, and it was able to spread this gap here so I can fit the belt in there better, so it easily stretched to there. So it works pretty well. So I'm just gonna put the nut, or all these pieces back on, and then I will torque them with the impact. Hopefully it's strong enough. I think the nut's torque is about 28 foot-pounds, but it's kind of difficult to do. If you want to jam a piece of wood in there, I'm just gonna zing the gun and just see how tight it feels. And I think you can also line up, for example, there is a paint marker on here, as well as here from the factory. I'm gonna try to line those up, and I think that's meant to torque it. All right, let's see how it goes. All right, so I got the nuts torqued. I used my 3/8 impact gun. Basically what I did is, I remember that marking there, and this white paint marker was also marked on this nut. They're lined up now, and then there is white on this nut. It kind of wore off from the impact gun, but matching up with that initial paint marker line. So I believe it's torqued. I did want to try to use this and double check that I got it torqued to around like 28, but it's kind of tough. I don't want to break this wheel, but I believe that's where it was, so that's where I'm going to keep it. I'm actually going to run this real quick. I want to see how it looks. I'll wide open. Before I put this cover back on, there's something I really want to stress. This washer right here, which hooks onto the kickstand, this needs to be pressed in, locked in, before you spin this nut on tight. Because if you don't have this perfectly in there, this nut will spin and then mess up your spline threads. It's not a good time if you do that. So just keep in mind, make sure this is set in, clicks in, you kind of hold it, and you take that nut, tighten it, and try to keep some pressure on that while you zip it in at first. Okay, well I call that a job well done. The 10 bolts that surround the cover, I torqued them to 10 foot-pounds with that guy. Just seemed like the right spec for it. But yeah, it's running good. I'm going to take it for a quick test drive, and if there's nothing wrong with it, then that's the end of the video. Alright, thanks for watching.